because Sarah and I used to do so many live things and webinars. In fact, there's a hilarious YouTube video that we did of the bloopers of how not to run a Google Hangout Live, because we did our first Hangout Live and it was hilarious, and there was a delay, of which there is today. So
we're cursed.
Yeah, we're cursed. We're cursed. We'll have to find some new tech, Sarah. But anyway, I am delighted. So I've worked with Sarah for a long time. She's a wonderful, wonderful person, as well as I did call you a bit of a geek, Sarah. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
One of my intro videos, but I say that with the sincerest of hearts.
Geek and proud.
Yeah. So Sarah is social media trainer at Jellyfish. She has been a practitioner in social for about 7 or 8 years, and even though she's youthful, there is nothing this girl doesn't know, let me tell you. So she has trained so many businesses. She trained lots of businesses when I was working with her in a training organization. We've had some fun training over at Tottenham Hotspur. Do you remember those days?
Yes.
They were challenging, to say the least, but good fun. Tottenham, if you're going to tune in. It was really good fun. But Sarah is now working with Jellyfish, and she is training the likes of Google and the British Council, the British Red Cross, Orvis, the FSB, some loads of organizations, actually. You're always all over the place and all over the world. In fact, she's off to New York next week to do training. So, she gets around, this girl, in the nicest possible way. So thank you so much, Sarah. You were the first person I thought of when a few questions about Facebook advertising were coming through. And I thought, you know what, it's got to be Sarah. Sarah is my girl. So thank you so much. And we've had some questions through. Now, I just want, if you are okay and you're seeing us still okay, can you just send some thumbs or something across over on the Facebook viewing so that I can see? I think this Be Live might be slightly different in as that you don't get the same immediate interaction, but I'm just hoping that it's all happening. So I'm hoping it's all happening as it's happening. But we will see. So I think people are sending in reactions. Yeah, it's all thumbs up. It's thumbs up. It's thumbs up. So good stuff so far. We've got some comments. I'm just going to see if I can scroll down to see these. Yes. We can see you. We can hear you. Hi. It's all going well. Okay, good. So Sarah, I think it's a bit different than what we're used to seeing in a live, but it's working. So that's the main thing. So let's get on with the questions. And if you've got questions, guys, just ask away. I can see that you're commenting, so ask away in those comments in the same way, and I will be able to throw any questions across to Sarah. But I do have at least 5 questions here, and given that we're here for 30 minutes, then, this is probably going to exhaust things, but, ask away. But hopefully you're going to get lots of gems from these questions. So thank you for those that message these into me. The first question I've got, Sarah, and I haven't shared these with you yet, so I hope you're going to be okay, a little bit on the back foot. But Facebook targeting. Okay, Facebook targeting came up, and it says, how is it possible to target another brand's business's audience? So maybe you can just give us a bit of a talk through on that. I know we're not doing screen sharing. This isn't like a big live teach. It's more of a Q&A. But if you can just kind of talk us through the options and how people go about actually specifically targeting another brand's or business's audience.
Okay. So you can't directly do this with every company, but there is a way to do it with some businesses. So I guess within Facebook Ads Manager, you've got 3 types of audiences that you can target. You've got core audiences, you've got custom audiences, and you've got lookalike audiences. Now, targeting another business's audience comes within the core audience option. So you can do this within the back end of Facebook Ads Manager. So you set up a normal Facebook ad campaign as normal. Then you get to ad set level, and that's where you type in all your targeting criteria. And in that interests box there, you could type in a company like ASOS, for example, and that option may come up as an interest to target. Now, what that means is that you'll target people who like ASOS or people who engage with ASOS's content on Facebook. So there's no direct option to go, okay, I want to target the fans of ASOS's page. Not like you could with Twitter advertising, where you can literally go into Twitter ads and say, I want to target the followers of X, Y, and Z. But within that interests option within Facebook Ads Manager, you can do that. Lots of people ask what determines a business to show up there or not, because not all businesses will show up there. Yeah. So if you put in Nike or ASOS, the big ones will be there. Yeah. And it's not actually to do with the size of the page. It's more to do with the interaction around that page. So Facebook has to index certain Facebook pages for them to show up there within that targeting option. Okay. And companies and pages actually disappear sometimes. If their engagement drops, then they'll stop showing up there. So it's more around engagement. It's very, very fluffy. Facebook, lots of people are asking, Facebook don't really give the answer. They just say, if a company page has been indexed. Yeah, really? It's not like Facebook. Fluffy. If a company page has been indexed, it will show up there under interests. So you go to that interest section, search for the company page that you want to target, and then that means that your ads will then show or appear to people who have interacted with that page or that page's content. They don't necessarily have to be following them. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And I mean, I know when we've run ads for clients in the past and they've said, oh, we want to target, specific brands or specific businesses, you can kind of go and we can find, we have a client that's in the furniture industry, for example, and they will want to target IKEA's audience, and you can find people like IKEA, because they're out there, and obviously when there's good engagement. But if they then wanted to target something a bit more bespoke, or a high street, kind of independent store who they know is doing really well with something, that can become a bit more challenging to find their audiences. So I suppose in those situations you'd be looking at other interests that would be relevant for that audience potentially.
Yeah, and actually the best thing to do is to use Facebook Audience Insights tool, which is an amazing tool, because obviously the downside of targeting all the big business pages is there's lots of competition. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's going to Facebook, typing in targeting IKEA if they want to sell similar products to IKEA. So it pushes the price of the ads up as well. So in Facebook Audience Insights, which is a free tool within Facebook Ads Manager, which is absolutely amazing. So if you're not familiar with this tool, definitely go in, because it does all sorts of research around your audience. You can plug in your website visitors into Facebook Audience Insights. You can see information around what they like. It'll tell you the top categories that is, for example, your website visitors would then like on Facebook, the top categories of an email list, what they would like on Facebook. And what that will then do is give you ideas of other Facebook pages to then target instead of IKEA.
Fantastic.
So different alternatives that you haven't actually thought of.
Yeah.
So using Facebook Audience Insights, definitely 100%. Do not just go into Facebook Ads Manager and start typing in a load of interests. Facebook Audience Insights is where you do the research and you drill down and get some really good specific pages to target.
Fantastic. Good. Well, that's a great one, everybody. If you're not doing that already, and you're not, sometimes we get a bit lazy with our research, and it's just easy to put the ad together and, necessarily and think about the bigger picture. But obviously drilling down and being specific, that the insights tool and doing the research, doing the legwork is probably going to pay off in the end. So definitely worth doing. Brilliant, Sarah. So the next question I've got, if you're happy for me to move on to the next question, is what best tips, best practice have you experienced, tested? What gets the best results? I suppose using Facebook Audience Insights is one of them. I mean, that's an amazing tool. So, I would use that all the time before creating an audience. When doing Facebook advertising, I mean, obviously it's quite a broad question, but the other thing that
that I always talk about.
Yeah, sorry, let me just go back, because Ivan has just asked a question which is a bit more specific, again, but around the same theme. So maybe this will give you a bit more steer, because that is a bit broad. In terms of optimization, can you provide us with top 3 quick wins when running Facebook ad campaigns? So if you only had to do 3 things, you know, what would be the top 3 things that you did when running that campaign?
So first of all, the Facebook pixel. 100% you need the Facebook pixel on your website. So the Facebook pixel allows you to do remarketing, which in itself is great because you can target warm people who've been to your website, who haven't yet converted. They're more likely to convert. So it's a great low CPA, cost per acquisition.
So just explain the Facebook pixel in case we've got anybody listening that doesn't quite understand what that is, you know, because I remember in our early days of putting pixels all over the sites, you know, we were like, ooh, and again, Facebook isn't that helpful sometimes around it. So, you know, maybe just explain what that is and how it works.
Yeah, so Facebook pixel is just a piece of code that Facebook will give you within their ads manager. So if you go to your Facebook ads manager and there'll be a pixel section, click on that pixel tab and Facebook will give you a unique pixel to your ad account, which is like a piece of code, which you need to copy and paste and put on in the code of your website. So it needs to go on every single page of your website. So your web developer would do that for you, or you can install it using like Google Tag Manager if you happen to use that. Once that's on your site, that basically links your website to your Facebook ad account. So it gives Facebook lots and lots of information. Yeah. So firstly, as I mentioned before, it allows you to target your website visitors. But even if you're not doing that, the Facebook pixel will also help Facebook optimize any other campaigns that you do more effectively, which is amazing. It's so advanced now, this pixel. Facebook then knows everybody who goes onto your website, not just people from Facebook, people from any marketing channel. It tracks people who go onto your website. It tracks what they do. It also tracks who converts on your website. It will then identify those people within Facebook. So then when you do a Facebook ad campaign, say you're targeting people who like IKEA, for example, selling a product at them, if you've got that Facebook pixel on your website, Facebook will send that data from your website of who converts to your Facebook ad campaign, and it will help Facebook find similar people within that audience who are likely to convert. So it makes a massive difference on helping Facebook identify those people who are likely to convert within their campaigns. Because you know, you could be targeting 200,000 people within that audience on Facebook. There's no way you can reach them unless you've got no masses of budget. But that pixel then will be working in the background, telling Facebook who to show that ad to, who are most likely to convert. And that makes a massive, massive difference.
Yeah. So getting that pixel, that code, and inserting the code, it's just like Google Analytics, really, isn't it? It's not a big deal to get it implemented. And of course, it's not just about retargeting, like you say. It's actually giving more intelligence to Facebook to help smarter optimization. Of course, we're giving all that data to Facebook, you know, and you've got to be happy with all of that. But you know, if it's making your activity more optimized, that makes sense. So that's a really great first tip. What are the other 2 things you'd say, Sarah, that were absolutely your go-to staples?
Then of course, I mean, optimizing your campaign is an absolute given. So I think, and again, this comes up in the training a lot, people think, okay, I'm going to set up a Facebook ad campaign, press go live and just leave it. And that's it. And they're waiting to see what happens. Well, that is just step 1. You know, there's no way that you can bring down your cost per acquisition if you're not continually optimizing. So then within Facebook Ads Manager, once your campaign's live, you go back once the results start coming in. So whether it's clicks, you're measuring conversions, leads, you can go back and break down the results. And Facebook will tell you what age group are converting at the cheapest price, what gender is converting at the cheapest price, what location, and what time of day. So you can actually break down that information. So instead of just seeing this ad has led to 5 conversions, that's all you'd see if you didn't break down the data. Break it down and it'll say, okay, well, 18 to 24-year-olds have converted 5 times a cost per acquisition of £5. whereas maybe 65-plus-year-olds, it's cost you £30 to convert one of them.
Yeah.
So again, if you care about your budget, what you can then do is pause that campaign, duplicate it, re-put it live, and just target the age group that is converting at the cheapest price.
Brilliant. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that isn't done a lot, you know, like you say. I think a lot of people just set up the campaigns and let them run without that optimization. You know, I know we've done that ourselves in the past, thinking, oh, that's great, we've set up a Facebook ad, you know, but optimizing it is the absolute key, isn't it? Otherwise you're just leaving money on the table. Yeah,
I mean, that's how you bring your cost per acquisition down to, you know, those wow prices that you hear.
Yeah.
You know, when you're, selling products, £50+ products, and you're converting them at maybe £3, £4, which is great cost per acquisition with Facebook as a brand new audience. So yeah, that's how you do that. And there's actually a great tool I'll just do a shout out to that can help anybody who's quite new to Facebook advertising called Ad Espresso. So this will actually help you optimize your campaigns for you automatically. And it kind of teaches you along the way as well on how to then do it yourself. Ad Espresso, I think it's only about £50 a month subscription. And you make that back instantly with the amount of money you save on it.
Fantastic. So, yeah. Okay, well, I'll make sure we put a link to that in the comments when it goes live. So I've got, so that was tip number 2. One more quickly, just before we move on to some more questions. What's the other thing you'd do? So yeah, we said the pixel. Pixel, definitely. Optimize the campaigns, 100%. What about budget? I mean, Elizabeth's asked deciding on the budget. I suppose you're going to be looking at optimizing it and bringing it down to your budget the whole time, aren't you?
Yeah, you shouldn't have a budget, right? If you're measuring your cost per acquisition, if you've got your pixel installed, you're seeing exactly how much revenue that's bringing in, and you're doing all your tracking properly, then you're just making sure that you're converting people at a price that's happy to you. And work on bringing that down. Also, of course, split testing. So Facebook have now got their own split testing tool with an ads manager, which is great. So split testing your audiences and split testing your creative, absolutely essential.
Yeah.
Because you want to know what audiences convert well for your business. And you can do that really easily now within Facebook because they've got that tool. You just tick the box and it'll create separate ad sets for you to split test your audience, and the same with creative. And then my other thing I just want to shout out, because again, so powerful and amazing, are custom audiences and lookalike audiences.
Yeah.
So we've spoken about core audiences briefly, which is when you go into Facebook Ads Manager, you type in your interest targeting, and you don't have to do any back-end setup. Now with custom audiences, these guys obviously are great at converting much easier than your core audiences because they're warmer to your business.
Yeah.
So a custom audience could be an email list, it could be your website visitors, or it can be people who have already engaged with your owned media on Facebook. So your Facebook page, they've watched a video, your Instagram page, so they've already engaged with you in some way.
Yeah.
So if you care about conversions or maybe traffic or leads, you want direct response, then think about targeting the correct audience, you know, the guys who are going to convert the easiest. So go in and set up custom audiences. There's a section in Facebook Ads Manager called audiences, and that's where you can set up all these custom audiences. So, you know, you can target people who've watched, for example, like 50% of a brand video.
Yeah.
With an ad that's then driving them through to your website. You know, it's great to have a video at the top of the funnel. You're boosting that. You're then creating a custom audience of people who've watched that video, and you're remarketing to them. And it's called sequence messaging. You're bringing them down the funnel. And that, you know, works really, really well. And we're really doing that, you know, with all our campaigns now. You're bringing people from awareness all the way down to convert just by using custom audiences to bring them down.
I mean, and that is Facebook's message, isn't it? You know, they say first that you educate, you put the good content out there, make the people that are interested, you make them aware that there's more to come, and that leads to conversion. You shouldn't just go out there trying to convert. You know, you've got to give to then target them to be able to come down that funnel. So, you know, that is their message. They don't like to see people just going out there with budgets and creating ads. So.
And what's worked really well for us is, your first either a video as the number one to a brand new audience, or a blog post, so an educational blog post.
Yes.
So you're thinking it has to be kind of your hero content. So inspirational, educational, entertaining.
Yeah.
Get people engaged and then remarket to them.
Exactly.
Once they're engaged with the relevant message.
Here's a product, buy the product, the product, it's about people using the whatever or something. Yeah. So it's the content marketing aspect, isn't it?
Yeah, and it works. Even like selling sofas. You think, who's just going to buy a sofa from a Facebook ad?
Yeah, but they do.
Yeah, they do. First, just a campaign I'm thinking of, we done. First ad is latest sofa seasonal trends. So it's a blog post.
Yes.
The latest sofa trends, putting that to a brand new audience of people, remarketing to people who've clicked through to that blog post with an ad, with a dynamic kind of remarketing product ad selling sofas. Yeah. And people buy them.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I do it. I buy things, we all do it. So that's brilliant. So thank you, Sarah. There's so much rich stuff in there. Just going through. So Ivan, I hope that really helped. You're saying that was awesome tip number 2. I think, and this ad espresso and the split testing, the creative, they're all good things for you to be doing. So good stuff. Right. What other questions have we got on there? I'm just checking the feed, and then I'm just going to go back.
Ready?
I know. We've got 6 more minutes. We've got 6 more minutes.
Yeah, let's do it.
So number 3. So you've talked. Can you explain how to retarget on Facebook? I think you've covered a little bit of this.
Yeah, pixel.
It's the pixel. Yeah. And then number 4.
The top tip there as well. Once you've got the pixel on your site, you can then create your website audiences. So again, you go to the audience section of your ad manager, create custom audience, create website custom audience. And of course, you want to be as specific as possible. So, don't just create a website custom audience of your whole website. You can put in specific landing pages into that and create specific website custom audiences around certain landing pages. So a certain blog post, which you can then remarket to people depending on what they've seen. So being as specific as possible if you can. Yeah.
And I think that's the key message, isn't it? I mean, we talk about in effective marketing being as targeted as possible. It is about being targeted. And if you've got the tools to do it, it's kind of lazy not to do it. I know it takes a bit of effort learning about it, but it's worth it, because otherwise it's going too broad, too big. It's just not effective. And then people think, this isn't working, and they don't do it. That audience is not for us. That channel is not for us. But actually, you haven't optimized it effectively.
Yeah, definitely. And then just because we've spoken about audiences there, I just want to touch on just that final audience. Yeah. Because we've spoken about core audiences, custom audiences. Then that third type of audience is lookalike audience.
Yes.
So you can create a lookalike audience from any custom audience that you've created. And a lookalike audience, again, is great for top of the funnel, so brand awareness activity. So you've got that video and you want to boost it to a new audience, you can boost it to a lookalike audience.
Yeah.
Now, this is similar to core audiences, but Facebook find the people for you, and they tend to do it more effectively than if you just type in all the interests yourself.
Yeah.
So you say to Facebook, okay, here's an email list of my past customers. Go and find another 140,000 people within the UK who look like people who've already converted on my website.
Yeah.
Facebook will go away, do that, give you a lookalike audience of brand new people that you can then target your ads at.
Yeah. And when they say look like, it's the behaviors, isn't it? It's the behavior, how they're interacting. So they also like IKEA and ASOS, and they interact on those 2 pages, just like my customer does. It's not necessarily that they, that they are the same age demographic even as well, is it? They take into more behavioral aspects of the user.
Yeah, massively. Thousands of touch points. Yeah. Everything that we do is tracked. Yeah. Yeah. Type of media consumed, type of spend, and spending habits. Yeah. Everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, that's really good. And so I suppose this last question that was asked, how do I know who's seeing my ads?
Who's seeing your ads? Well, you don't. No, you can't identify who's seen your ads. You know how many people have seen them, how many people they've reached, but it's totally anonymous. You don't know who's seen your ads.
Demographics of so Facebook, somebody knows because they're able to feed through the data.
Yeah.
But you only get a certain set of criteria, don't you, that you can have a look at?
Demographic information, location, time. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. So let me just check again over here, Sarah, because you've answered all the questions that we had. That's it. That was Ivan's questions. Elizabeth asked about deciding on the right budget. Well, that budget is, Elizabeth, as Sarah said, you know, it's more about what am I prepared to pay for each conversion, and how, you know, so if my budget is £5 for the conversion, I'm going to test, maybe you'll have a test budget of 100, 150, £500, whatever that test budget is. And you're going to be testing and playing to see what conversion rate you can get within that. So it's about having a test budget. And then once you understand what that cost per acquisition is and how it scales, then you'll be able to say, well, okay, it makes more sense for us to put more budget over here because we're getting a better cost per acquisition on this channel than we are, let's say, on Google AdWords. So,
and of course, to test effectively to get that X many transactions, this much money has been spent on your website within Facebook. Again, you need the Facebook pixel on your site to do that. So absolutely vital. That is like the one takeaway. Facebook pixel, so powerful. Get it on your site.
For lots of things, you know, as well as giving Facebook lots of data, but you know, we have to get over that. They've got all the data anyway.
You can't fight it. You just got to join them.
So what's this? All certain actions. I can only see data protection won't allow that form. I mean, all certain actions filling in a form cart drop off. I can't understand the full question there, Vinny.
You can remarket to people, I mean, who've engaged with a lead generation form, obviously, or who've dropped off your cart on the website. That's all I can think of. And you can create custom audiences around those actions.
Yeah. Okay, another question, data protection and email lists. Any thoughts? Oh, God.
GDPR. I mean, it's also fluffy at the moment because there's been no kind of case examples yet of businesses being fined. But I mean, the main takeaway is, you know, you have to be 100% transparent on what you're doing with people's data. So you need to say that we are using your emails to share with third-party tools, to use within advertising, so just having all that within your privacy policy. That's all we can say. There's no, it's still very, very fluffy.
And I mean, I've been doing quite a bit of work on GDPR, as you can imagine, and it is, and I've been working with the Chartered Institute of, talking to the Chartered Institute of Marketing, and it's not clear. It doesn't seem to be getting any clearer, actually, because you've got the privacy law and you've got the GDPR. And what we do know, it isn't just, it is all kind of what they call the over the top comms, like Facebook, like Messenger, all of those aspects. But of course, as long as you're saying this in your privacy statements that nobody ever reads, anyway, but I suppose it's I don't think it's going to be that massively different. Or it's just new stuff that has to go into the privacy policies and new ways, new methodologies of making sure that your audience have given you permission to actually communicate with them. You have to be a bit more overt with that. But I think, Elizabeth, we'll watch and see.
And remember, when people sign up to Facebook as well, they're giving away a lot of their rights. When they sign up, and all those custom audiences are totally hashed, so they're anonymous anyway. So when you upload an email list, it is hashed. That personal data doesn't get sent to Facebook; it's hashed before it even arrives at Facebook. So that's also something that a lot of people, again, don't realize.
Great. So, my lovely, that is our half an hour. I've found it really useful, and anybody else has found it really useful, really, really useful. Some fantastic nuggets in there, Sarah. We would love to have you back. There will be lots of questions around more on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, especially the ad space, which I know is something that you're geeky about. So,
yes.
So, we'd love to have you. We'd love to have you back on all of those aspects as well. And so a big mwah and a big huge thank you to Sarah Kerrigan. This will obviously be posted back into Social Soul. So if you need to rewatch it, you can rewatch it. If you want to share it, you'll have to share it personally, because I won't be sharing it out of the group. But hopefully you found it all really useful. And next week in our Q&A live, we've got Vinny. Vinny was tuned in today, Vincent Hayward. Vinny's going to be talking about repurposing content. So Sarah talked about the importance of the content marketing. We touched on the importance of content marketing and having that engaging content of either the video or a blog post or, a guide or something that people will engage with that isn't a direct sales ad, which is this, which is kind of getting people to know you, to like you, to trust you, to know that you're that trusted thought leader or trusted source of information. And from then to then build that relationship with them and take on those touch points. Because you know what, the old school ways of marketing always used to talk about 7 touch points before somebody buys. It's probably about 30 or something now, because we're so bamboozled with so much information all the time. So you've constantly got to be building these relationships, but with great content. And of course, creating great content can be time consuming. And it's like, oh my goodness, as a business owner, I'm a publisher as well as a broadcaster, I'm trying to be all things to everybody. So what Vinny's going to bring to the table next week is all about doing that in a really smart way. How can you take one piece of content and repurpose it so that it can be used in a number of ways? So you're really optimizing your content for that bottom line engagement and fundamental relationship building. So that I really look forward to that again next week. So that'll be 11 o'clock live. I'll do the same. I'll put out invitations. You can tune in, and I look forward to that as well next week. So for now, big thank you, a big round of applause for Sarah and her amazing knowledge. Thank you so much, Sarah. And we would love to have you back. And thanks for being a social soul, by the way. And have a wonderful, wonderful trip in New York.
I will. Thank you. It was great to do this with you. So I'll definitely be back.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
See you later. Happy Friday. Bye.
Friday.
Leave your comments. Please keep commenting. Share comments. We know that commenting, engagement, exactly, will help this post, to reach more people within Social Souls even. Not everybody gets to see the stuff. So share, comment, and, do your emoji stuff. And I will see you next week. Well, I'll probably see you before then. Anyway, I may go live tomorrow. I may go live on Sunday. But I will see you at the Q&A live next Thursday with Vinny. I really look forward to that, Vinny. And thank you for tuning in. Okay, over and out for now. Bye.